Ladies and gentlemen, the Chief Justice, the Honorable Mr. Justice Brian Sykes, Order of Jamaica, and Mrs. Sykes. Ladies and gentlemen, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Colonel Charles. Commander of the Order of Distinction and Member of Parliament. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Senate, Senator the Honorable Thomas Tavares Finson, Commander of the Order of Distinction and Queen's Counsel, and Mrs. Tavares Finson. Ladies and gentlemen, may I remind you to turn your telephones off at this time. Also, could you please take the seats where you've been ushered? Everyone should be seated at this time. Recipients, family, friends, everyone should be seated. If you're unsure of where you should be seated, please ask one of the ushers. They're dressed in black. And now we prepare for the ceremonial arrivals. Will everyone please be seated at this time? Commissioner of Police, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Major General Anthony Anderson, Commander of the Order of Distinction. Acting Chief of Defense Staff, Jamaica Defense Force, Colonel Roderick Williams. The Guard of Honor will be brought to attention, and Colonel Williams will receive a sword salute from the Guard Commander.
Is this thing on? Good morning. It's October 15, 2018. It's National Heroes Day here in Jamaica. I'm Stacey Ann Smith, and it is once again a pleasure to be here with you, with the team from the Jamaica Information Service, bringing you the 2018 Ceremony of Investiture and Installation of the National Honors and Awards. Yes, we are here again on the lawns of King's House to pay tribute to so many Jamaicans who have given stalwart service, yeoman service, selfless service to this country. We're talking about 206 Jamaicans this year who will be given national recognition for the service they have given to this country. Among them, we have the highest honor, the Order of Merit, will be given out today, and that will be given to Dr. the Honorable Harry Belafonte, who is multiple Grammy Award winner for his contribution to music. We'll also see 4 Jamaicans getting the Order of Jamaica, and among them Grace Jones and Earl Jarrett. We'll also see several Jamaicans getting the Order of Distinction, among them swim sensation Alia Atkinson and poet Joan Andrea Hutchinson. It will indeed be a great day, and as we said, this is really an honor to be able to recognize Jamaicans who have done so much for the country. Apart from those persons I mentioned before, we'll hear from Jamaicans who have done several things in the area of politics, in sport, in music, in education, community development. It's a really wide range of disciplines that we'll see Jamaicans this morning and be able to recognize them. Now, behind me, you're looking at the parade area. You might see and will see in a short while the 2nd Jamaica Regiment, which is making up the Guard of Honor this morning. And a total of 106 members make up the Guard of Honor this morning, including the massed bands, for a total of 171 personnel from the Jamaica Defense Force. The Guard of Honor is commanded by Captain Webster Williams for this morning's proceedings. And we'll also see, as you see right there, we're looking at the Guard of Honor furnished by the 2nd Battalion Jamaica Regiment. And we'll hear from our orator in a short while, Faye Ellington, who will be carrying the proceedings here on the grounds. You'll be hearing my voice for the most part, as well as my lovely colleague, Vanessa Silvera, who is sitting in with me this morning. And between us, we will be sharing and giving you a little bit of color, a little bit of additional information about Jamaicans who will be going up to the presentation days and collecting their award from the Governor General. Here we are seeing the arrival of another dignitary. This section of the proceedings is referred to as the Ceremonial Arrivals. And we will hear Faye Ellington in a short while announcing the ceremonial arrivals. And on your screen,
Mr. Fitzjackson, Commander of the Order of Distinction and Member of Parliament, representing the Leader of the Opposition.
and it is indeed a great morning here. We have bright sunshine. It's warm, but not overly so, which means our guests will be comfortable. And you will take note that you're seeing the assigned language interpreter on your screen. And she is Antoinette Aiken. And she'll be opening the lines of communication between the hearing and the deaf during today's ceremony. And as I was sharing just now, we're going to be getting the sign language interpreter, Antoinette Aiken, who is on screen with us, providing a very
Ladies
important
and gentlemen,
service.
the Prime
Vanessa.
Minister will arrive shortly. Could I ask you to be seated at this time? The final request for you to be seated at this time.
Kate and her father is Neville. And of course, as I said before, they are deaf parents.
And I would not, it would be remiss of me to not mention that she is a graduate of the prestigious Immaculate Conception High School. I had to add that right there.
Right, but Antoinette credits her, many persons, but more so her mother and her stepmother for fostering her growth in the field of interpreting. She does volunteer work with individual members of the deaf community, the Commonwealth Parliamentary Committee, and the Optimist Club, especially in the Houses of Parliament, where we see her on a weekly basis.
Excellent. And now we're seeing the arrival of the Prime Minister and his lovely wife. And Mrs. Holness is, as always, looking very regal in white this morning. Very statuesque lady, always looking very sharp and beautiful this morning.
And of course, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Mrs. Holness has her pink ribbon on her white dress.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Member of the Order of the Nation and Member of Parliament, and the Most Honorable Mrs. Holness, Member of Parliament.
And we see there the breaking of the standard of the Prime Minister on his arrival. So while Mrs. Holness is escorted to her seat, the Prime Minister will mount the presentation platform and be saluted by the Guard of Honor. And the Prime Minister receives what is called a general salute. And that piece of music you're hearing is called La Marion. And on your screen, you're looking at two officers who are carrying the colors. They are called color ensigns, and they are Second Lieutenant Shakira Sharp and Second Lieutenant Chelsea Montague.
Right. Stand up. East. Stand easy.
So the
Ladies
Prime
and
Minister
gentlemen, please be seated.
takes his seat,
Their Excellencies will arrive shortly.
and we anticipate the arrival of the Governor General and Lady Allen. This is, of course, the official residence of the Governor General, has been the official residence of Governors General of Jamaica since since 1872, when the country's capital was changed from Spanish Town to Kingston.
I also believe that in 1690 there was King's House, but that King's House was in Port Royal.
Indeed. So plans were eventually made for a new King's House to be built in Spanish Town in 1762. A bit of King's House trivia for you here this morning. And then, of course, we know there was an earthquake in 1907, and there was need for renovation and restoration. And so the house was rebuilt, incorporating a portion of the remains of that old structure. And it covers approximately 4,800 meters and comprises 3 stories.
Is this where we call Somerset Pen?
I believe so. This
Yes.
is what that plot of land is referred to.
Called. And now we have on screen the beautiful King's House.
Beautiful and well kept. You will always
Indeed.
find that the
Green
lawns
grass.
are carefully manicured and kept in pristine condition, as befitting the residence
Of the head
of the
state.
Governor General of
Indeed.
Jamaica. I'm going to share a little bit about these honors and awards. As I'd mentioned at the start, the highest honor this morning that's being bestowed is the Order of Merit. And
That one is going to the Banana Man himself.
Mr. Deo, none other than Harry Belafonte. And we have Order of Jamaica. We have Order of Distinction, both commander and officer class this morning. And the Badge of Honor will be handed out. And one for me that's always very, very interesting and I think important to recognize is the Badge of Honor for Gallantry. We're going to be seeing several Jamaicans who will get that recognition this morning for feats of bravery. Many of them would have saved lives and prevented additional fatalities. We know there are persons who will be recognized for how they went into the fire at the Walker's place of safety
yes.
and rescued those children. And we know that children died in that fire, and had it not been for their input, for their bravery, their selflessness, I mean, I can't imagine how scary that must have been,
Especially
Vanessa.
in the wee hours of the morning.
Can you imagine?
When most of them would have been asleep.
And to get up and to have that presence of mind to rush into what would have been a chaotic situation.
Indeed.
Is nothing short of astounding. And we now see the Governor General making his way with Lady Allen. And what you're hearing is fanfare announcing the Governor General's arrival. And the breaking of his standard on screen now.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Their Excellencies the Governor General, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, Member of the Order of the Nation, Knight Grand Cross of the Most Distinguished Order of St. Michael and St. George, Commander of the Order of Distinction, Knight of Grace of the Most Venerable Order of the Hospital of St. John of Jerusalem, and the Most Honorable Lady Allen. The Governor General is escorted to the presentation platform by Colonel Roderick Williams, Acting Chief of Defense Staff, attended by Lieutenant Colonel Godfrey Sterling, Commanding Officer, 2nd Battalion Jamaica Regiment, and Captain Finicky Rowe, aide-de-camp to the Governor General.
Royal salute! Present! Up!
And that was a royal salute for the Governor General. We're looking now at the resplendent Guard of Honor and our two color ensigns right in the middle of your screen. The Guard Commander, Captain Webster Williams, will now go over to the Governor General and invite him to inspect the Guard of Honor. So he says to him, the Guard of Honor is furnished and ready for your inspection, sir. the Governor General.
You may now sit during the inspection of the
Now
Guard of Honor.
proceeds.
However, you are reminded to stand after the inspection.
After the inspection is complete, I believe we're going to be having the national anthem once more before the Governor General takes his seat.
Definitely, and that is part of what is referred to as the Royal
Royal
Salute.
salute.
And what we're hearing is a piece of music called Maestoso, performed by the massed bands. There is something about the pageantry of this event that really gives you a good feeling. It elevates the awards that are being given. It gives you a sense of pride. And I'm sure those Jamaicans who are here, along with family members who have come to celebrate with them, appreciate the effort and the time it takes to execute an event such as this.
Indeed, and past awardees actually come back every year because this is an event they look forward to.
So a little bit of information on the massed bands led by Warrant Officer Class 1 Paul Johnson, and the Staff Sergeant Paul Dunkley of 2JR is the drum major, and there are 65 members of the band, inclusive of the Corps of Drums this morning. Incidentally, we have heard that the JDF band has vacancies. They're looking for persons to participate in the Armed Forces Day Parade. That's next year, July 2019.
But they'd have to go through the Jamaica National Service Corps program. And of course, we know the next intake is early next year.
The current cohort is scheduled to graduate in a few days.
Yes, later on this month. And of course, candidates must be between the ages of 18 and 23 years old.
And those who come in through the JNSC will then apply for vacancies in the JDF band, and they should have some musical knowledge or background.
I would imagine they need it.
Definitely. So the Governor General proceeds now to the presentation platform, and that will be followed by the Royal Salute once again.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand.